Okay, Hare Krishna, welcome for morning session, chapter 3 of
Yeah.
Bhagavad Gita. Today is August 5th. So here we gather to discuss on this very auspicious topic on chapter 3. And Prabhakaran Prabhu, welcome. Have you got your book?
Yes, I got your book. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, good. So when you received it, on Sunday or what?
I received it on Saturday actually. Saturday
Oh,
morning.
really? I
Yeah.
sent you on Friday and you got it on Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay. No, because you know why? The day that you sent, I've totally forgotten because it was at the back of my car.
Okay.
The car boot.
Right.
Daughter say, "Hey, Appa, what book is this?" I say, "Oh my God!" So immediately I rushed to that courier and sent to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Very nice. And also Sangeeta Mataji, welcome. Hare Krishna. So, of course, yesterday night we had a very nice conversation, and many people have read Bhagavad Gita, and of course, dedicated whatever merit of these to their forefathers. Okay. But now, like some of you might have missed it and say, oh my God, did I missed it anything? No, you're not. Okay. Because any moment you read Bhagavad Gita, the purification system will start. All right. So Krishna is transcendental, is omnipotent. Omnipotent means he has many potencies. Okay, like for instance, like me and my word and the way I look, there is difference. All right. Me is not my name. Me is not the what I'm speaking. It's all different entity combined together, acting independently. But for Krishna, his ornaments, his dress, himself, his name, and the word that he spoke, same, equal. There's no difference about it. That's why we call him omnipotent and omniscient. So that means that's perfect. So when you look at Bhagavad Gita, okay, Bhagavad Gita is actually the word spoken by Krishna. That means the word and Krishna himself, there's no difference. And it's very auspicious book. That's why they say you keep a Bhagavad Gita in your house, you keep it in your altar, you start to worship the Bhagavad Gita, you are considered directly worshiping Krishna. Number one. Number two, um, they say that all these auspicious things will happen. Even there's no black magic, no evil spirit. All will enter the house where the Bhagavad Gita is spoken and read. Okay, of course, as we go on, we will study in Mahatmya. That one of the Mahatmya that was amazing is this. You know, in fact, when I was young time, I did this Ghostbuster job. You know, some people say, hey, my house got something on. No, something wrong. Then I was thinking, okay, then they want to call one Bomo. What? Then I was thinking, hey, I read somewhere that Bhagavad Gita. So I just took my guts. Of course, I was very young, 20s, and I was not a Bomo at all. So I tried my luck. So to prove whether it's true or not. So I took the Bhagavad Gita, went to the house, start to worship the Bhagavad Gita, offer incense, offer some flower, pray to Bhagavad Gita, and open and start to read some verses. Then after that, they called and told me, no, hey, it's amazing. La. Say, what happened? Whatever things that day, we don't hear it. I say, really? Yeah. I don't know. I just tried my best. Then after that, 1 week, 2 weeks later, they say, what happened? Oh, that room is the most peaceful place to sleep. Oh, and they start to say, no, I say, look here, I'm not a bobo. Don't try to link me here and there because I just want to try. I just want to try my luck whether this thing works or not. And it works. Amazing, right? So there's no. So when you open your Bhagavad Gita, you see the paper is white in color. Yes or not? All your Bhagavad Gita paper is white, right? And the ink is black. The paper is white. The ink is black. So the ink black is Krishna because Krishna is black. And the paper which is white is Radharani. So when you look at Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, Radha and Krishna actually lives in that Gita. The Gita is mystical and it's a word of wisdom, and the Bhagavad Gita is alive. Like just now, I was just thinking in my heart, I had something, then I just pray to Bhagavad Gita and I just open. It's so amazing, right? What I want to know, and I saw it in Gita, right? So I just took my Gita and I just prayed and I just opened one verse. Okay, then what are the things that I have? I want to have a direct relationship with Krishna, and I want to have some kind of ideas and thoughts. and we got it. That's why Bhagavad Gita is an amazing book. Okay, one of the story I would like to share before we start. There's a prostitute in India, Chennai. She was at the roadside calling clients. Hey, come, come, come. A prostitute used to do that, right? So with a pimp. So that prostitute, then that day, there's one devotee was going there and distributing Bhagavad Gita. Can you imagine distributing Bhagavad Gita in that red area, in red light? So suddenly he saw this prostitute was like canvassing, calling the clients, come, come, come. And suddenly he just went to the prostitute and said, look here, I think you should have a Bhagavad Gita. Then she said, no, why? Said, you are involved in such a sinful job, right? Do you really like it to do what your job? Or do you really like what you're doing? Do you know that? Then he start talking like, people used to like say that you are so and so, but do you know you're very authentic? You're very spiritual. Krishna loves you. I say, there's someone other, he say something and put a Bhagavad Gita in the hand. I said, take and read. And she bought it. And you know where she read? She read in the room where she do the business. She keeps the Bhagavad Gita on the shelf. And after satisfying the client, when the customer goes off, she takes the Bhagavad Gita and start reading. Can you imagine in the brothel? She takes the Bhagavad Gita and start reading. Then after that, when the customer comes, she put it aside and she do a job. Then when the customer goes, she take and start reading. So whenever she have a monthly menstruation, of course, she cannot do the business. And that 2-3 days, she sit and whole morning till night, she reads Bhagavad Gita. And suddenly a transformation start to happen in her heart. You know, then she start to visit ISKCON Chennai. You know, and she went there, of course, people do not underestimate her because we know that all of us are conditioned so went there and she started to associate and she says she's like to do some kind of seva. And eventually, by the time she reads the Bhagavad Gita, she gives up a job as a prostitute. And she went to the temple and became a full-time devotee. And after that, a very nice person married her because everybody started to call her prostitute. You know, she's a single, quite dangerous, when a lady, and suddenly when the men come near, the ladies will be thinking, hey, why are you going talking to her? Even though she has this thing. So just to avoid that, a man, good Samaritan, married her. And both husband and wife are serving full-time in that. And she's now first-class devotee. So what I am trying to tell you here is, what is the rules and regulation of reading Gita? Nothing. Oh, can I read when I have menstruation? You can. So that is the extreme condition I would like to share with you, that she read in her room where she do the business, brothel. You understand? Sometimes they say, oh, you have to take our bath, clean ourselves and read the book. No, she just after the finish, the flow goes off, she just wash her hand and just take the book and start reading. That's why I'm telling you, Krishna is present in Bhagavad Gita. And Bhagavad Gita is truly an amazing literature because this is the word spoken by God himself. When we look at other scriptures, like Lord Jesus speaks about God. In Al-Quran, Nabi Muhammad speaks about God. But here the God speaks himself. That's why it's such a wonderful, and this book is truly amazing. So with that reflection, let's start today's program. So today, we're going to continue as what we have discussed. Okay, let me see. Slideshow. Okay. So we start our discussion on Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3. Okay, before we start, let's do our invocation prayer. The invocation is very important because we want to set the scene. Like you see that in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, setting the scene. Take the thing and I would like to see who's there. So likewise, we might have been here with any kind of, maybe not enough sleep, maybe you are frustrated, or there's something should be happening in our head. So just to remove all this, we pray to Krishna, we pray to Guru, we pray to all the acharyas of this, all the acharyas to remove all our obstacle by invoking auspiciousness. So what is that auspiciousness? Auspiciousness, we call it as Mangala Charan. Mangala means auspiciousness. Charan means essence. So let's do Mangala Charan. And of course, close your eyes and just, whether you understands the prayer or not, just close your eyes and just be grateful to all those people who have invited you to come here. That means all of you didn't come here by yourself. Somebody should have sent you a link. Somebody should have encouraged you. Or you should have heard somewhere that this Gita Gyan program does wonders. So just show your gratitude to them in your meditation. and we start the program. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobistam Stapidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sva Padantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajadam Shahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savaduta Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Saha Gana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vidamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bando Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Jayapataka Swaminiti Namine Nama Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gaurakada Damadaya Nagara Gramatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubevacha Paditanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nasta Prayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. So today we're going to do this evening program. Morning discussion of Bhagavad Gita. Of course, now morning will be chapter 3 and this evening will be chapter 4. But when it comes Thursday, when evening will take a break, then you'll come back to normal again. Same day, we're going to go back to the same chapter. So Bhagavad Gita chapter 3 is very important. Chapter 1, Arjuna asked Krishna to bring the chariot in the middle. And Krishna took the chariot and parked right in front of Dronacharya and of course Bhishma. When he started to see his grandparents there, grandfathers, and also his teacher. And after that, when he started to look around, he was so devastated. And he says he doesn't want to fight. So what are the reasons? He says, fear of them getting killed, spoiling and all these things. So he was given up. All right. He wants to become he said he wants to be a beggar. He wants to be a yogi. He wants to go to the jungle and all these things. He was so devastated and he was so heartbroken, sat down and started crying. And in chapter 2, Krishna started to give advice. All right. In the chapter 2 is actually the contents of Gita summarized. Whatever things that you have seen in the 72 verses is the one that's going to be expanded in all that 12 chapters. All right. In all the following 16 chapters. All right. 16 chapters, all this expansion from this. So he's telling he wants to become a yogi. He wants to become he said he'd rather let them kill me and take the property, take that kingdom. He was giving all the excuses. So one by one, we're going to study. So what we're going to study today is the step 1 in Krishna's advice is called Karma Yoga. Okay. Karma Yoga. And before that, let's dedicate our program to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, for nicely presenting Bhagavad Gita in such a way any layman can understand the secret behind this Bhagavad Gita. He made it in a very simple English and a very in a very understandable way. All right, and this program was inspired by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, my spiritual master also, and he is a governing body commission and spiritual master. Is in charge of Malaysia in terms of congregation development and developing the yatra and of course book distribution. So all the book distribution idea that we are having here is all inspired by him. and we are always been closely monitored by His Holiness to see whether are we doing the right thing or not. Okay. Then, of course, we'd like to dedicate our program to His Grace Anadi Jagannath Prabhu, my very dear God brother and very close friend of mine from Bengaluru, ISKCON, India, Sheshadipuram. He's the creator and the brainchild of the Essence of Gita Gyan program worldwide. And he left his body a few years ago, but the impact that is created lives in all this program. Okay, let's look at today's Mahatmya. What does Mahatmya means? Mahatmya means glories. All right, or in Tamil we call Magimei, Gita Magimei. All right. So in this Mahatmya was spoken by Lord Shiva in Padma Purana towards spoke by to Mother Parvati. So let's look at this Mahatmya. Maline mochanam pungsam jalasnanam dine dine sakrit Gita amrita snanam sansara mala nashanam. Sansara in Malay we call sansara, suffering. Mala, the garland of suffering, nashanam, destroy. So what it says is, one may cleanse himself daily by taking bath in water. Yes or not? We all should have taken bath in the morning, taken bath with water. But if one takes a bath even once, only once, in the sacred Ganges water of Bhagavad Gita. So here Bhagavad Gita is also compared to Ganga. So there's a water of Ganges, and in the Bhagavad Gita, there's no difference. All right. So that's why when you read Bhagavad Gita, it's basically you're taking a dip in Ganga. Okay. But imagine if you want to take Ganga, you want to go take a dip in Ganga, how much money you have to spend from here to India? Then from there, you have to go to the place which is very conducive. Because sometimes we from Malaysia, sometimes we see that certain part of the Ganga water which is not clean, we don't have the heart. So we have to go like Haridwar or maybe Rishikesh, where you find the pure water. But the problem there, the water is chilly cold. And imagine you're going to take bath every day, 18 days. Not possible, right? Every day. That means you have to stay there every day. Hotel costs you how much? The food costs you how much? So expensive endeavor. But when you're going to sit in your comfort of your house, on a couch, you just simply take the Bhagavad Gita and just say gratitude to Srila Prabhupada and all that Acharyas. Thank you for giving me this book in English so that I could understand. And you just take the book and just open and start to read. You are taking a bath in Ganga. If you read this book 3 times a day, you are dipping yourself in Ganga 3 times a day. All right. So that is how. So what happened when you do this? For him, the dirt of material life is altogether vanquished. It is not a little, altogether vanquished, even once. And imagine if you're going to take it as a habit. What happens if you just dedicate yourself, says every day I'm going to read 1 hour, 1.5 hours, this Bhagavad Gita. So imagine how much of impurities that we have accumulated in our life that we're going to be destroyed. So talking about this, we will discuss as we go on in the following few chapters. Okay, we talk about the karma. Lord Brahma's age. Lord Brahma is now 50-year-old. That is equivalent to 165 trillion, 20 billion Earth years. And imagine in that period, we have been taking birth again and again. We've been rotating. Imagine the amount of karmic reaction that we have accumulated. All right. Then how to nullify it, and because we need to know all these things. All right. So, but here he says, all the dirt of material life is altogether vanquished. So one of it is to study Bhagavad Gita. Just imagine. So now all of you are going to take a deep dive in the sacred water of Ganga in the form of Bhagavad Gita. All right. So let's look at that. Understanding the Gita. This understanding the Gita is come from that introduction. Of course, we all have to read the introduction before we start the Bhagavad Gita. Because the introduction is actually, the introduction is very, very important. It's 30 pages, but don't get disheartened. Oh my God, 30 pages, it's okay. Because when you study that introduction, basically you understand most of it, what is supposed to do. Anyway, just let's look at the glimpse for the chapter 3. So now let's look at this. Arjuna was in a relationship with the Lord as a friend. And of course, there's a gulf of difference between this friendship and friendship found in the material world. Okay, this is transcendental friendship, which cannot be had by everyone. Not possible. Of course, everyone has a particular relationship with the Lord. This is something that we need to highlight. Everybody got a particular relationship. That means you and I, even the fly, even the mosquito, even the worm, whatever living entity that you see around, they have some kind of particular relationship with Krishna. And that relationship is evoked by the perfection of devotional service. That means how? So that means that relationship can be evoked. Okay, how are we going to evoke that? Evoke means to make it big is by perfection of devotional service. So the word that we should look at is perfection. All right. Prabhupada never used the word perfected. Perfected means you have to perfect yourself before you go there. But here the perfection means what? You are on the process of cleansing, on the process becoming perfect. Okay, of devotional service. You can get your relationship. But in the present status in our life, not only we have forgotten, okay, not only we have forgotten the Supreme Lord, but we have forgotten our relationship with the Lord. That means we have some kind of relationship with Krishna, but we have forgotten it. Okay, so every living being out of many, many billions and trillions of living beings, not one. So here we are proper using the word living beings means what? That means including cockroaches, including snakes, snail, whatever things that you can see around. Right? Even the coronavirus, the virus was alive. The virus is intelligent. The virus know how to fight. The virus know how to like jump into another body and go and kill the system. All right. So how they create the vaccine? By using the virus, use that kind of this thing. I mean, I heard that they take that virus antibody and to fight against that virus. So that means, so what does it mean? So that means even the virus is alive. It has intelligence, like cancer cell. All right, the cancer. It knows how to capture your body. It's just like how to conquer. And it knows how to mutate. It has the intelligence. Even the virus and these kind of bacteria is intelligent. All right, because there is a consciousness there. So all that billions and trillions, everything has a particular relationship. This is very important. Has a particular relationship. Okay, that means you and I, everyone, we have particular relationship. But of course, we are passing through many birth and death, but still we have one particular relationship. And this is called Swarupa. This particular relationship we call called Swarupa. The process, now let's look at the process. The process of devotional service, what is the advantage? Okay, the process of devotional service, one can revive. Okay, yesterday we had to give a very elaborate explanation about revival. Formally, let me say if I faint, when somebody come and wake me up, they call that term revive. So what does revive means? Formerly, I was conscious. In between, I fainted. I lost my conscious. Then they bring me back to the consciousness. Okay, see, suddenly a person get a heart attack and he goes to the hospital. The heart was not beating. So the doctors will do some kind of procedure to make the heart beating, to bring the person back to life. So that means the person was alive before, and in between he was dead. Then he bring them back alive. So that means the life was there, in between I bring it back. The consciousness was there, in between I fainted, then I bring it back. So this process called revival. So what is a revival we can understand from here is, that means all of us are originally Krishna conscious entity, but in between, due to the nature and environment, we have forgotten. Okay, we have forgotten. And of course, by the process of devotional service, what happened? We are reviving it back. All right, reviving it back. That's Swarupa. This is called Swarupa Siddhi. Okay, perfections of one constitutional position. Okay, what is a constitutional position? Constitution means perlembagaan. When a country was created, when they build the constitution, you can never change it. Like in Malaysia, we have Tamil and Chinese school. They can never remove that because it's in constitution. So similarly, that's the original position. So that means we have our own constitutional position. Perfection of one's constitutional. What is my constitutional position? We will understand as we go on in Bhagavad Gita. All right. So what happened? So we can be perfect. We can attain perfection in this constitutional position by reviving our Swarupa through the process of devotional service. And how the process of devotional service? Simple. Just read Bhagavad Gita is considered devotional service. So Arjuna was a devotee and he was in touch with the Supreme Lord as a friend. Okay. So that's the thing. So when you're going to read your Bhagavad Gita, make sure you also go through your introduction, because in introduction, most of it is given. Okay, so today we're going to look at chapter 3, Karma Yoga. Karma means activity, yoga means linking with God. All right. Here the word yoga. Okay, there's also a misconception, the word yoga, yogi. All right. Yoga is not something that we stretch and pull, that exercise. That's not yoga, of course. Okay, so in one way it's called as yoga, but the real yoga means linking with God. Okay, linking with God. So why they call other exercise are considered like Zumba and all others are exercise, but why when it comes to yoga is different? Why they call it yoga exercise? Because in yoga we do Surya Namaskaram. So we are looking at the sun and we are doing the Namaskaram. That means we are doing it in devotion. Okay, so that means the yoga process is not something that you jump and dance and all this. It's not an exercise. Of course, now it's misunderstood, misconception. It's a kind of exercise. But when you're breathing, when you breathe in, left nostril, you bring pranava, pranayama. So what do? You just close, take a deep breath and hold it, and you count Om, 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 Om. Then after that, then you blow out. Om means what? Addressing the Lord, which we will study as we go on in Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so Karma Yoga means how we can engage in activity with devotion. Okay, let's look at first verse. So Arjuna's doubt on renunciation of work, okay, or work in devotion, because that's the question he asked, right? So that means he said, Arjuna vacha jayasi chet karma naste mata buddhir janardana tatkim karmani gore mang niyojayasi keshava. Look at the word gore. Gore means ghastly, horrible. Have you heard about these people? There's a monk in there's a kind of people in what they call in Kasi, where the body is burnt. There's a people called Agori. Who is Agori? The one who are the renunciate, who look so terrible. They eat the body of the dead, the flesh, right? They are Agori, and they look so ghastly and scary. So that's why Agore. Gore means horrifying. Agore means the person, horrifying person. So now let's look at this. So Arjuna is saying, but now you can, if you really study the Gita, if you really dwell in it, now you can see that Arjuna is speaking in what? In distress. He said, Arjuna said, Oh Janardana, oh Keshava, why do you want to engage me in this ghastly warfare? Why? If you think that intelligence is better than fruitive work, because Arjuna really doesn't want to fight. He said, why do you want to engage me? So how we can see that whether he's not happy? Look at the way that he said, Oh Janardana, oh Keshava. He said it 2 times. He said, Oh Krishna, why do you want to engage me? That's different. But just imagine, oh Janardana, oh Keshava, why do you want to engage me in this ghastly warfare? Because in this warfare, why called ghastly? Because it's guaranteed that everyone who is going to engage in this fight is going to die. Because that's what all the warriors is all about. The warriors who go for war, they always get excited because they know in the warfare, if they die, it's something very pride. And now imagine this is a civil war. When you're fighting against your relations, against your cousins, and in that fight, war against your relatives and cousins, you really want to show your prowess. You really want to show that how fantastic you are. And you really want to show that you are so fearless. And Arjuna knows all these people just by showing them, they're going to die. They're going to die in the war. So that's why he said ghastly. And Arjuna is asking, tell me, which is better? If you have read Mahabharata, right? They explain after the war what happened. After the war, they say there was a flood of blood. There's a river of blood. During that war, when they fight, when people got severe, the leg, the hand, everything got severe and everything, it was such a ghastly situation, horrifying, and there was a river of blood. If you read Mahabharata, all right, after the war, what happened? Oh, this is very terrible. Okay, that's why Krishna says, why? So now, then Arjuna also continuing 3.2, he says, Vyamishre neva vakyena buddhi mohaya shiva me tat ekam vada nischitya yena shreyo ham apnuyam. So he's telling, now Arjuna is asking, my intelligence is bewildered. That means my intelligence, I cannot think, all bewildered, all like shot, haywire. By what? By equivocal instruction. With your instruction, you are giving equivocal. right? Which is so, what they call vague. That means it's not clear. I don't understand. So now he's telling, therefore, please tell me decisively. Can you imagine? See the word decisively. Arjuna is saying, tell me decisive, make a decision and tell me which will be the most beneficial for me. Which is the most beneficial for me, to renounce or to fight? 3.4. Arjuna, now Krishna speaking. He said, Shri Bhagavan Vacha na karmanang anaramban naishkarmyang purushošnute na cha sanyasanat eva siddhing samadhi gacchati. 3.4. What he says? The person of God, he says, Sri Krishna said, not by merely abstaining from work. That means not by just stay away from work can one achieve freedom. Can one achieve freedom from reaction? Like sometimes they say, okay, I don't want to get involved. I don't want to get dizzy. By doing that, you're not free from reaction. At the same time, no, by renunciation, they give up everything, become sannyasi. Alone can one attain perfection. That means by abstaining or by renouncing, you don't achieve anything. Okay. Then, what they call chapter 3, text 5 to text 7. See what Krishna says. He says, everyone is forced to act helplessly. Okay. Everyone is forced to act helplessly according to the qualities he has acquired. So that means everyone is forced to act helplessly. We are very helpless. What does this mean? We will discuss in next following chapters. All right. Everyone is forced to act helplessly. We are forced. We have no choice. Example, say like for instance, if you are married, you have children, you have to send them to school or whatever. Say like you are sick on that day, you cannot take a break. Like the mother cannot take a break, says, oh, I'm not well, so I cannot cook. No, she has to do it forcefully, all right, and helplessly. Okay, so according to forced to help helplessly, according to the qualities that he has acquired. That means all the things that what we are going through now is something that we have acquired. We cannot say, why me? Why this thing is happening to me? Why I born in this family? Why I born to this father? Why I born to this mother? You have no right. You cannot argue. Am I audible? Why these things changed? Huh?
Yes,
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
No, they said that my audio has changed to microphone. Okay. Microphone. Okay, right. So that means we cannot ask all that question. Why? Because all the things we don't realize it, but actually all this we has acquired, the qualities that we have acquired. So what are you going to do today is what you're going to be tomorrow. Example, okay, give you a very good example. What you ate today is what you are today. Example, yesterday, if you have ate rubbish, today you'll be suffering. Example, yesterday you went for some Thai food and you put all the chili padi and everything you eat. So today you'll be suffering. You'll be having a stomach ache. You go to the washroom, toilet, you feel like fire coming out. So what you have ate today is what you go today. So what you eat today is what you will be in tomorrow. So if yesterday, if you have eaten such a nice, or today, if you eat something very fresh and very good, very healthy, so tomorrow you're going to have nice situation. But today, if you're going to eat rubbish, tomorrow you're going to suffer. So the same thing. So all these modes of qualities is something that we have acquired. Okay. Acquired by the mode of material nature. This is going to be very elaborately described from chapters 16 to 18. 16, 17, 18. Yeah, around 3 chapters. They're going to discuss about the 3 modes of material nature. Goodness, passion, ignorance. What does that mean? Very clear instruction. Okay. So therefore, no one can refrain. So no one can refrain. No one can refrain from doing something. They cannot not doing anything. Not even for a moment. Okay. Then he says in text 6, one who restrained the sense of action. So what happens if there's somebody forcefully try to restrain, okay, his action, but his mind dwells in that object. Example, you have decided to go for intermittent fasting. Intermittent, okay, now I'm not going to eat. I don't take, every day I eat at what? 1 p.m. That's it, 1 meal a day. Because I want to do intermittent fasting. So you're restraining your senses. You are restraining. You are not taking your breakfast. You're not taking. But that time, suddenly you see somebody is eating something. There's some kind of smell that comes into your mouth, into your nose, and you're trying to restrain it. You tried, no, until lunch, I'm not going to touch. Okay. So, but at the same time, your mind start to dwell. Oh, how nice if I go for this food. Oh, how nice if I can go for that food. Your mind is dwelling on that sense object. Okay. So what happened? Certainly dilutes himself. That means he's cheating himself. He's deluding himself. And he's called as pretender. Krishna says. So that means when the time you eat, what happened? You eat double or triple. Maybe you eat only one bowl or one bowl rice. But after that, you are trying to receive, you keep thinking until the thing become relapse. Explosion will happen. During the explosion, maybe you eat one pot of rice. So like that. So anyway, so sometimes when you try to say, well, I want to give up some kind of bad habit, I would like to give up this. I want to give up meat. I want to be a vegetarian and all this. So you should understand, you should do it very gradually. How you do it? How you do it is by reading Bhagavad Gita and by chanting Hare Krishna. When you keep doing it, you start to have higher taste. And through that higher taste, this mundane taste will go away. Once you reach your higher taste, that's when you can give up all your habit permanently. If not, you are trying to suddenly out of blue, suddenly you decided, yes, I want to be a vegetarian. But suddenly your neighbor will be cooking something and the smell will come. You, what the first cooking? You are pretending. So better don't pretend. The only thing that forcefully you should do is two things. Read your Gita and chant your Hare Krishna. Whether you like it or don't like it, whether it's going to be tough or not, just forcefully do it. And forcefully you start to do, and you start to see this kind of transformation start to happen in your life. Suddenly you look at meat, suddenly you look at egg and all this, you can't tolerate it. Okay. and you know what? Then naturally the mundane taste goes off. So once that mundane taste goes off, you can be deceived. If not, your attempt is only you're pretending. Okay. Now, on the other hand, if a sincere person tries to control the active senses, example, now you are very sincere, you really want to give up meat because you know why? Meat is a carcass, a dead body. Okay, you are eating a dead body. Say like for instance, a goat. How do the goat born? Is through the male goat semen was injected into the female, and the thing goes an ovulation, and through that ovulation it creates the thing and start to have a baby in the womb. Then after that the thing comes and bloop, it come out. So that means it's born of mammal. All right. So it's a combination of semen and ovum. And that semen went into the ovum, it start to transform into a body and it start to grow. And when we slaughter the thing and we start to eat, actually we are eating that nasty thing. We are eating a dead body. All right. So by understanding all this, of course, I'm not saying, this thing, but this is my understanding. Why I give up meat? Because I do not want to eat dead body, and I do not want to make my stomach as a graveyard for the animal. All right. It's not a grave. Okay. So with all this understanding, what happened? A person tries to control. Okay, wrong. Okay. That means the person tries to control the active senses. He's trying. Okay. By the mind and begins what? Karma yoga. So if you really want to control active senses, you have to start karma yoga. That is in Krishna consciousness without attachment. Okay. So what Krishna says, in the other hand, if a sincere person tries to control the active senses by the mind and begins karma yoga without attachment, he is far superior than the pretender. Example like this. Okay. Karmendriyani sanyamya ya aste manasa smaran indriyatan vimudatma mityachara sa uchyate. Let me look at this monk here, a sadhu. Okay, I think it's near Ganga. Okay, he restrains his sense. Okay, that means he's trying to control himself. He wants to become a saint and everything. He's trying to control himself. But is the mind still dwelling? So this is Kundala. Kundala means the one that sannyasi carries, water. And look at this. While this with a cigarette in the hand, with a handphone, okay, and he's a sadhu. So he's trying his best to control, but that means he's considered these are the people who are pretenders. So we do not, Krishna doesn't want pretenders. Krishna says, be yourself. And how? Let's look at this. So, Yaknartat karmano nyatra lokoyam karma bandhana tat artam karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. What does it mean? Work done as sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duty, do your job, and for his satisfaction. And in that way, you will always remain free from bondage. So now he start to advise how we can restrain senses in Karma Yoga. So the step one is telling the work done as a sacrifice. Everything that we do, we have to do as a sacrifice for Vishnu. Okay. If not, the work can create bondage. So I give a good example. Okay. Like for instance, a person is working. All right. Say a person is a teacher. All right. Say a physics teacher. He goes to school in the morning. He gets up early in the morning. He gets himself ready. He goes to school. Then after that, he start to teach physics. All right. Then after that, after he complete his one whole day of teaching, he comes back home, drive back home. He comes back and everything. So is that devotional service? Teaching physics. Is that a devotional service? No, right? So it's got nothing to do. As well, we know devotional service means we have to engage ourselves in engaging in God conscious. But here, what we say, all right, when we work, we go for 8 hours job, we come back and all the money that whatever we have earned. And imagine we just take a small portion of that income and offer it to Krishna. How you can offer to Krishna? That means you can sponsor Bhagavad Gita, you can take some Bhagavad Gita and you can start what your hard-earned money. You just get some Bhagavad Gita and try to convince your friends to have a book and start to read. It's a fantastic service, right? So say whatever X amount that you have, say whatever amount that you earn, say like you just sacrifice 50 ringgit or 100 ringgit or maybe even 1 ringgit for Krishna. All right. All the income that you earn becomes sanctified, become prashadam. Example, see like what we do not eat the food directly. We cook the food nicely, we offer to Krishna. Then after we offer the food to Krishna, we take it as prashadam. We eat prashadam. We don't simply eat. We offer to Krishna first. So when we do that offering, so after when I cook, I don't take the whole pot and put in front of the Lord. I don't take the whole pot of rice, whole pot of curry, whole pot of vegetable and put in front. No, I just take a small portion of each dish in a small container. I take one, I'll put in all small container and I go and put it in front of Krishna with Tulasi and I just pray on behalf or pray to spiritual master, kindly offer this boga, this preparation to Krishna. And after that offering, I would like to take the remnants of that food that offered to God. So that is called sacrifice. So that means when I offer all small pot, a small container offer to Krishna, my entire preparation in the kitchen becomes sanctified, become prashadam. Similarly, all your art and income, whatever money that you have, you just take a small portion, whatever amount. All right, you take it and offer it to Krishna. Your entire income becomes sanctified. When your entire income sanctified, the 8 hours job that you go to school, teach physics, becomes devotional service. Can you imagine? So that means, I'm going to work, I'm earning so that I can get some money to maintain my family. But the most importantly, I am taking this money, I'm going to offer to Krishna, I'm going to get some Bhagavad Gita, and I'm going to distribute among my friends and relatives. And this money is the book of wisdom, the book which is alive. I'm going to give to someone and I'm going to make a transformation in their life. That is devotional service. So that's what he says. So that is work. This is a sacrifice that we perform. If not, whatever things that you earn, it creates bondage. All right, because in our job, in the course of our duty, we might have do a lot of mistakes. When I'm driving, I should have killed a dog on the road, or there's suddenly some insects pass through, or maybe there's one iguana passing and I just went through. I killed the iguana, I killed an animal on the way to work. Okay. Then on the way work, then suddenly one fella come into the plane, he just honk and start to curse some bad words. All right. Then you go to work and suddenly you make some mistake. Okay, suddenly the student says, sir, you made a mistake. No, I did right thing. You will start to deny. That means you're telling a lie. So that means in the course of our executing our duty, we might do a lot of mistakes. There will be a lot of sins can be incurred. But when we take a small portion and offer to Krishna, all that things that you have done is nullified, and that attempt that you are working, it becomes devotional service. Fantastic or not? That is Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So he says, that means, put this away. All right. So, therefore, O son of Kunti, perform a prescribed duty. What is that job was prescribed to you? If you're a doctor, if you're a pharmacist, if you're an engineer, or whatever, if you're a teacher, even if you're a father, if you're a mother, that's your prescribed duty. The duty that has been prescribed to you, and do it in a way for his satisfaction. When you are a father, you are bringing up your children. Bring up your children in a very positive way. If you don't make your children to practice this bhakti, it's going to be a disaster. Nowadays, I'm a father of a teenage child. My eldest girl is 17. I'm very scared what is happening around. When she comes back and tell me the story, my God, it's unbelievable. Things that are happening nowadays. It's becoming even more and more rotten. Okay. Now we are thinking we are improving. We are becoming more modern. Modernization is degradation. We are getting more and more degraded. The teachers cannot whack the child. So the teacher is now put in this demerit system. So there's a thing. The teachers has no power to correct the children. Right? All things are going haywire. All right. Now you see the marriage is not really sticking. The marriage institution is breaking. Like the day I was driving, and my daughter suddenly clicked the thing and went into Hits FM. Hits FM. And that Hits FM, someone called and spoke to the DJ. He said, well, how's it? I'm married for 15 years. Then you know what the DJ said? What? You are married for 15 years? Wow, that's amazing. And I was thinking, what is that something so amazed about? That means nowadays we are talking about marriage is guaranteed it will never last. Everybody is getting married in the idea it will never last. At least in Malaysia, we have some culture. We want to have a child after marriage. But in America and other countries, they do not want to get married because they find that marriage is big troublesome. Because the divorce settlement is terrible. 50% of the asset goes to the wife, a lot of things. So what they do, they rather stay together. When they have a child, I got a child through my boyfriend. And after some time, after 15 years or something later, then they decide to get married. When the children are all grown up, the children will holding the flower, seeing the parents getting married. It's becoming more and more disgusting. Right? So as a parent, it's very important how are we going to bring up the children. We cannot impose the rules because they're exposed to unruly things. Things are not very ruly outside. So at that time, when you're trying to impose the rules, the children will start to retaliate. So what are you going to do? Simple. Let's sit down and read Bhagavad Gita and let's reflect what we can understand from this. Try to do that. It works. Okay. All right. Say like your child will read a Bhagavad Gita and just say, okay, tell me what you can understand from here. What you can reflect. Then my daughter started to say, oh, Dad, this thing happening like that. My friend do that. Okay, all this you understand. So how are you going to be different? What difference are you going to make? All right. If you're going to agree to them, if you're going to fall into that trip, you are just another part of them. So if you want to be unique, you have to stay aloof from all these things. That's when you're unique. So we use that and we bring up our children. All right. If not, it's going to be bondage. It's going to be big troublesome. All right. So now let's look at this. So knife. Okay. Say what are the things that we can use the prescribed duty? Example, the doctors need to use the knife to save the patient. But if the same knife taken by the convict, it's a crime. And similarly, when you look at this, what they call soldiers, armies, and all these things, they need to have gun to protect. But what happens if the same gun fall into the hands of a terrorist? All right. So that's the thing. So the prescribed duty and all these things is that we have to do things. Okay, but if the things fall into the wrong hand, it's going to create trouble. All right. So now Krishna is continuing. He says, Saha yakna praja shristva purovacha prajapatihi anena prasavishyadvam esha vastva esha vo stvistakam. What does it mean? In the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creature, Vishnu, sent forth generation of men and demigods, the devas, along with sacrifice for Vishnu. He's created a sacrifice for Vishnu and blessed them by saying, be thou happy by this yagna or sacrifice, because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation. So this fire sacrifice, yagya, is important. So when he sent forth people, he says that we and the devas are working hand in hand, right? Just imagine if suddenly Surya Dev, Okay. Okay, suddenly decide not to come out. What happened? Suddenly the moon decided to take a break. Chandra Deva. Right? What happened? Suddenly Vayu Deva suddenly said, okay, I want to take a break. Finish. All of us are dead. Vayu means air. So that means we are all grateful to them. And how we go show our gratitude? By performing this fire sacrifice. And how we do the fire sacrifice? We're putting all the things, we put all the pure ghee and we do the yagya. So when you look at that, always in that yagya, we end the word with swaha, Om Keshavaya swaha, Narayanaya swaha, Om Kartikeya swaha, Om Gam Ganapatiye swaha, Om Namachivaya swaha, swaha. What is swaha means? Ultimately swaha. What does that swaha mean? Swaha means the tongue of Vishnu. So that means all the things I'm offering, oh Lord Shiva, oh Lord Krishna, oh Lord Ganapati or whatever, I'm offering these, but I'm offering towards the ultimate root, the tongue of Vishnu. So when they think, everyone is satisfied. So that means by creating this kind of environment, so Krishna says, I have created this kind of situation so that the man and the devas can live in harmony and create prosperity. And in 11, Krishna says, Devan bhavayata nena te deva bhavayantu va parasparam bhavayantaha shreya parang avapsyata. So they say the demigods or the devas being pleased by sacrifice, when they are very happy with your sacrifice, will also please you. And thus, by the cooperation between the man and the demigods, the devas, prosperity will reign for all. So the prosperity will reign for all. So that's why we take everything, we offer it back. Like Pongal that we celebrate, we cook right in front of Surya Dev, the sun god, Mata Hari. All right, we cook, we offering, we just say thank you, dear sun. All right, but nowadays people are doing Pongal in the kitchen. Right, you shouldn't do that. You should do it outside. You know, they do it in the kitchen and what do you call? Yeah, in the stove. So what we do, we take the thing, you know, we put all this auspicious ornament like sugar cane. We put the pot, we put that stone, we lit fire from the firewood because it's all earth fire. Fire means, of course, we set a fire on the wood, which is the earth, and of course the stone, which is earth. Then, of course, the fire will burn through what? Through the air, right? And we put the auspicious thing like a sugar cane. Then, of course, we take that the yield from the earth, the rice, and we cook the rice from cow's milk, pure cow's milk, not like marigold, which is they added with some soya milk or something like that. Pure cow milk, because the mother cow provides milk. If a child dies, when the mother dies at a very young age, the child can survive with milk. And you know what? The cow's milk is very universal. Every living entity, see a stray cat, the flower, you take the cow's milk and give. You don't give them juice or what? They will die. So the cow's milk is very universal. Every living, including snake, they drink cow's milk. So cow is a sacred animal. That's why we call it mother, because the milk that it provides for every living entity. So we boil that, we use that cow's milk as a gratitude to the cow, then this thing. Then after all these things, preparation, and we do that sweet rice. After we do the sweet rice, we look at in front Lord, right in front of Lord Surya. Then what we do? We offer it to Krishna, because Krishna is the ultimate benefactor. So once we offer to Vishnu, so what happened? By doing it right in front of them, but ultimately we offering to them, the entire devas, the 33 million devatas, all will be very pleased. Right? It's mentioned in the Sastras. I'm not speculating. So that's why, thus by sacrifice, we also please you, and thus by cooperation between men and devas, prosperity will reign. Everyone will be satisfied. All right. So let's look at this. Then Krishna is continuing. Annat bhavanti bhutani pranyat anna sambhava yaknat bhavati parjanyo yakna karma samudbhava. Anna means what? Food items, grains. Okay, Anna. Okay, Anna Purani. Okay, Anna Purani means the one who is in charge of the grains. So now he says, all living bodies subsist on food grain. We all live in food grain, right? No matter what, we still need to eat rice. We cannot go on eating meat or vegetable only. We need to eat grains, because from there we get the source of protein. All right. So that means we have to eat grains. So where the grain come from, which is produced from the rain. And the rain are produced by performance of yagya, sacrifice. And yagya is born of prescribed duty. So all that, because if we don't do our job, when we don't earn our money, how are we going to do our prescribed duty? Right? Say like, I'm not working. I'm not working. If I not work, I don't have money. If I don't have money, how am I supposed to buy Bhagavad Gita and to distribute? How am I supposed to buy some this thing? How am I supposed to come? Even if you want to go to the temple, even if you want to go to India, you want to go on pilgrimage, you need money. You cannot go to the mass and say, oh, dear Mr. Mass, I'm such a surrendered soul to Krishna, and I really want to see him. I would like to go to Vrindavan. Can you give me a free ticket? And the fellow says, what? Are you crazy? Free ticket? Yeah, right. Then you go to India, I say, Mr. Auto Rickshaw, or Mr. This, Mr. That, can I go? No, you need money. So where are you going to get the money from? When you do your prescribed duty, you cannot falsely say that, oh, I want to give up everything, I want to be a mendicant. No, it doesn't work that way. So we have to offer, we have to work, we have to get the thing, because that's our prescribed. The job, we don't take it as a job. We don't take it as a work. So here Krishna says again and again, prescribed duty. The duty that been prescribed to you. Right? The duty that been offered to you by the nature, by the mode of nature. Right? Not everybody can be a doctor. Not everybody can be a farmer. Not everybody can be a farmer. Not everybody. So what job you're in, that is your prescribed duty. Right? So if I'm a doctor in this particular hospital, I give up that I can't work here, I resign. I go to another place, I still go to another hospital. Or I go and open a clinic. I go work in. That means I still have to work as a doctor. I cannot, after being a doctor, I don't like the job, I go and become a farmer. It doesn't work. It very rare it works. So your prescribed duty, stick to that. Do it nicely. Offer all the result to Krishna. Whatever income that he earned, you're going to see. So now we talk about sacrifice. What is the sacrifice about? We will discuss as we go on. Because in Kali Yuga, the sacrifice is Harinama Sankirtan. All right, that's a sacrifice for Kali Yuga. Once when Prabhupada went to Hyderabad in 1973 or 74 or 70 something, when it was on our India tour, the Hyderabad was in such a terrible famine, drought for almost 1.5 years. No rain. People are suffering. They tried all means and ways. So when Prabhupada went there, when Prabhupada went there and they asked, Swamiji, can you do some kind of miracle, because there's no rain and everything. We tried all means and ways. He said, don't worry. He told the disciples, go out and do Sankirtan. They all went to the street and they started to sing, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare, Hare, Hare. And that night it rained. The torrent of rain, which never experienced for 1.5 years. Such a good rain. And it became a big sensation. Oh, the group of Western devotees came and chant Hare Krishna and Hyderabad started raining. But it's not that, because there's a sacrifice. That's a yagya you have to perform. Because when you perform the yagya, the rain will come. All right? So that means all this has to do according to the prescribed duty. So what is a sinful life? So what is a sinful life? Evang pravartitam chakram nanu vartayati haya agayur indriyaramo mogam partha sajivati. Indriya means body, mogam means lust. So my dear Arjuna, one who does not follow in the human life the cycle of sacrifice that is established by the Vedas certainly leads a life full of sin. His life is full of sin. Living only for the satisfaction of the senses, such a person lives in vain. I'm not sure whether you have seen that, but I've seen in my own family. All right. My family is a business family, merchant, and I've seen all my uncles from India and all these people, they come here and my grandfather all started a business. We were dealing in heavy machinery and spare parts. My uncle, maternal uncle, that is my Thai maman, mother's brother, he always earn and keep. And his biggest happiness at night when he start to count the money. So I tell my uncle, why are you counting money? You already known. First thing in the morning, you get up, you look at the cash. My grandfather, first thing you wake up, you have to look in the cash first. He said, that's auspicious. Lakshmi. Okay, it's Lakshmi. I want Lakshmi. I want money. I want Lakshmi. And last thing, he goes to bed, he count all the money, put in the safe, and he goes to bed. Right? So that is how they start to live. They start to live in our life in such a terrible, they live in that way. All right? It is just like, okay, like, so my uncle, he's already 80 plus in India, Madurai, and he's still working so hard. I mean, of course, now he's very old. But before that, he went to India. I said, hey, Mama, what are you doing? You still work hard for what? No, I've already saved my son. Now I'm saving money for my grandchildren. When I went to India, I was so shocked to see my uncle. I was traveling with him, and he says, "Can you see that building? Ah, that's mine. Can you see that building? That's mine. Can you see this building? That's mine." I was so shocked. Even the rental income itself crore, lakhs of rupees. And yet is this thing. All right. So it is just like Ravana. Ravana wants Sita, but he doesn't want Rama. He only wants Sita. So similarly, when we start to have so much of lust or this craving for money, what Krishna says, living only for the satisfaction of the senses, earning money, keeping it, enjoying within the family, don't care about others, don't care about sacrifice. Krishna says that person lives in vain. His life is waste. Tendathila valgiran. Tenda valkai. Lives in vain. All right. So that's very important. Okay. Now, then after that, Krishna continuing. So, karmanaiva hi sansiddhim ashita janakadaya loka sangraham evapi sampashyan kartum arhasi. What he says. Then after that, he says, king such as Janaka. It's verse 20. Yeah? The king such as Janaka. Who's Janaka? Janaka is the father, the father to Janaki. And Janaki is Mother Sita. Mother Sita's got another name called Janaki. That means he is Lord Ram's father-in-law. So he says King Janaka attained perfection solely by performance of prescribed duty. He just did his duty perfectly. All right. And he had achieved perfection. Therefore, just for the sake of educating, is Krishna saying, you just educate, for you educate the future generation, people in general, you should perform your work. Okay. Then after that he says, but yat acharati shreshtas tat eva taro janaha sat sayat pramanam kurute lokas tat anuvartate. That means what? Then after that Krishna continues 21. He says, whatever action a great man perform, common men follow, and whatever standard he sets for exemplary act, the whole world pursues. That means he's telling Arjuna, if you're going to do this in the future, all the warriors will go there and see scared and run away. So because Arjuna have done it before. So that means when we're going to be very successful or you're going to be influencer, it's not a joke. Right? But the most important, can we be a good example? Nowadays, the children are following after all these crazy musicians like rock and roll and all these fellas. All right? Like last A.R. Rahman's visit to Malaysia, I heard that the ticket is from minimum 100 up to 5,000 or something like that. 35,000 people went. Just when we calculate just based on 100 ringgit, he just easily made 35 million bucks. All right. So people are going there. That means he's such a great influencer. But one thing I appreciate him, even though how successful, how great he is, he still says, Ella Pugalam Iravanike, all glories to the Lord. And he said it right in the concert itself. When everybody start to say A.R. Rahman, then after they say Ella Pugalam Iravanike, all glories to the Lord. That is what the great man should be. Not like some crazy fellas go there and sing some nonsense, nasty, dirty songs, take the guitar and start to bang, right? Like Kurt Cobain. I don't know whether you all know Kurt Cobain or not. He's a crazy guy, always high on drugs. Always he put this thing and he just start to music. And I've seen during my college days, some of my friends are followers of Kurt Cobain, all became a guitarist. They used to, exactly the way they grow long hair, they put the right thing. And what happened, Kurt Cobain at last? He was so frustrated because he always sing on this thing. He just took the gun, put in the mouth, kill himself. Then all these jokers, my friends, you know what they do? Every day night, before go to bed, they put the photo of Kurt Cobain, they put a candle, and they start to sing his song like a crazy guy. Of course, when they come and connect to me, I strongly discourage them, and eventually they gave up. But I've seen so many people like Michael Jackson, when he died, I think some people even killed themselves. Right? When MGR, one of the great actor of South India, when he died, many people commit suicide. But he has set so much a good example. Of course, I'm talking on a very material way. So here Krishna says, if you are someone, or if you're like, in other words, like an influencer, you have to set the standard. Because whatever great men do, common men will follow. People are watching you. You have to. Then after that he says, Na me partha sti kartavyang Trishu lokeshu kinchana, Trishu lokeshu, three loka, the three planetary system. Nanavaptam avaptavyang varta evacha karmani. What he says? Oh son of Prutta, there are no work prescribed for me. Krishna says there's no work prescribed for me. Or in the three planetary system, upper, middle, lower. In these, I have no prescribed because I'm God. Nor am I want of anything. Of course, he doesn't want anything. Nor have I a need to obtain anything. And yet, I am engaged in prescribed duty. Even I myself doing my prescribed duty as a king, as the husband, as a father, and as an advisor, as a friend. All right? Krishna married 16,108 wives. And he created 16,108 palaces. And he expanded himself to every palace and do different kind of pastime. That's when Narada Muni came and he started to see, he was so astonished. All right? Okay. Now, 23. Yadi yahang na varteyang jatu karmanya tandrita mama vartmanu vartante manushya partha sarvasha. Then after that he says, for if I ever fail to engage in carefully in performing my prescribed duty, O Partha, certainly all men would follow my path. Even Krishna said, even the God said, is the God says, okay, I am above all, so I can do whatever I want. No. He said, I still have to do. If not, the man will follow my footstep and everything is gone. Okay. So Narada Muni went and visited all the Lord Krishna's palaces in Dwaraka. No, he was so surprised. In one palace, he was with his children. One palace was with his wife. Another palace, he was quarreling with his wife. Another palace, he was, addressing the crowd. Another palace receiving. And this one particular palace is receiving a guest. He's Sudama, his best friend who studied with him in Gurukul, his classmate. He was so poor. And all torn clothes and everything is so extremely poor. He have not eaten for days and months. He only have skeleton in his body. So one day his wife said, dear husband, since Krishna, the king, is your father, is your husband, is your best friend, why not go and ask some help? Right? We are going around begging for food. No one is giving us. No one giving us grain. So please go and ask him. After some persuasion, he agreed. But before he went, he said, well, if I want to go, I need to bring something. I cannot go empty-handed. It's something that you all have to know. When you want to visit someone, don't go empty-handed. You have to bring something. There's a gift like flowers, fruits or whatever. So he said, I only have a handful of what they call chickpea. What they call what they call the word owl. What they call oven in English? Owl podi. What chickpea? What cheap rice? I only have owl cheap rice. All right, I only have some owl. I said, okay, bring the cheap rice. So he took the cheap rice and tied it on his dhoti and started to walk for days. After a few days, he reached that palace and he told the guard, go and tell Krishna I'm his classmate, best friend is here. And the guard says, are you sure or not? You look like a beggar and you're telling that you are Krishna's friend. No, I'm his friend. Go and tell him. So the guard was there, okay. He went and told Krishna, dear Lord, there's someone look like a beggar there, says that he's your classmate. All right. His name is Sudama, is here. And he wanted to visit you. Say, Krishna, Sudama? He came all the way from the palace. He came right in front of the front gate and he hugged him and he just ushered him in a very respectful way. Can you imagine? And he brought him and he asked him, come. He put him on a very comfortable seat in his bed. And what he did, he washed his feet. Krishna washed the feet of the devotee. All right, because the Brahmanical or the devotees, when you wash the feet, is very auspicious. So he put him comfortably. He washed his feet, gave him something to eat. And after that, he asked his well-being. Then he asked, so Sudama, you are here. What made you to be here? But before that, did you actually come empty-handed? I say, well, I have something. When he took out the cheap rice, of course, he's soaked. Come on, imagine you keep this thing on the waist, on the dhoti. Maybe it rains or he sweat or whatever. It's soaked. Well, you just open it and the thing became stale. And the thing, and Krishna says, wow, cheap rice. And he immediately took it and put it in the mouth. He said, hey! He just, wow, so nice. Then he want to take the second round. Rukmani stopped him. He said, if you're going to take the second round, all of us have to move to his house. Because when you offer food to Krishna, when Krishna takes your favor, he'll be very pleased and he'll be very satisfied and he'll be very grateful to you. So Rukmini says, enough. If you're going to take the second bite, all of us have to pack our bag and go and stay in Sudama's house because you're so grateful by taking his food, taking the offering. Right? So, so that's a system that even Krishna showed. He has the Lord, the Supreme Personality, and he's the king at least. He came and washed the feet of a beggar who is his friend. All right? So that is what. So he set a standard. So that's what Krishna says. Okay. Now, this is the thing. So in one palace, he's talking to his children, his wife. Another palace is receiving a guest. Another palace is playing with his kids. And another one is playing chaturanga. Chaturanga means chess. He's playing chess. That means Krishna still perform his prescribed duty as a husband, as a father, as a king, right? And all this. So now, 324. What Krishna says. Now here we're going to refute the tradition of what they call this family destruction, because all these complaints that what Arjuna gave, right? Utsideyor ime loka nakuryang karma chedaham sankarasya chakartasya syam upahanyam ima praja utsideyor ime loka nakuryang karma chedaham sankarasya chakartasyam upahanyam ima praja. What does this is? If I did not perform my prescribed duty, if I did not perform prescribed duty, all this world would put into ruination. Everything goes haywire. I would be the cause of creating unwanted population. Why? And I would thereby destroy the peace of the all living beings. That means what he says, the Varna Shankar. That means he says, if he didn't do the prescribed duty, if he simply sit and enjoy himself, the whole world will start to follow him. So everything will be ruined. Right? And it's going to create unwanted population. Okay, we call Varna Shankara. Varna Sankara. All right. So what Krishna says, the Varna Sankara, the unwanted things will happen by not fighting. By not fighting. Okay. So you have to fight. 330. So this is the purpose of the Bhagavad Gita. Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasadhyatma chetasa nirashir nirmamo bhutva yuddhasva vigata jvara. What does it mean? So therefore, O Arjuna, Krishna is saying, Mayi, me, Sarvani, everything, Sarva, everything, Karmani, all activity, Sannyasa, renunciation, Adhyatma Chetasa. So therefore, O Arjuna, surrendering all your works unto me. All your work. With full knowledge. Don't do it hallucination. Don't simply blindly do things. Of me. Without desire for profit. With no claims of proprietorship. And free from Lataji fight. So that means he said, surrendering all your works unto me. So actually Arjuna is asking question and he's receiving the instruction on our behalf. So what we should know, that means we have to surrender all our work to Krishna. How? With full knowledge. Because we know we're going to offer to Krishna, Krishna will take charge of our life. All right. So without desire for profit. Okay. So just this thing, when you don't expect any profit, you just do your job. Okay. Half of your stress gone. Okay. The stress happen when the frustration, all this happen when we have expectation. When the expectation starts, when we have attachment. Example I have seen, because my wife is a chief psychiatric pharmaco specialist in Tanjore Hospital. This is a head of the department, psychiatric department, on a medicine, psychiatric medicine. She's a pharmacist. There are some cases, right? This one particular boy was such a great, highly educated. He's the boy who never failed in his life. And he became a doctor. And once he became a doctor, he still have the thought that I will never fail. So after he finished his houseman and everything, then he was sent to this ER, emergency room, emergency department, A&E, yeah? There. So when he started to work, the first case came. Of course, that day, the first incident was an accident case where that guy came. And this boy, and this boy was supposed to take care of the patient. And he tried all his level best to save him. He put this, save. Eventually, the flood died. That has created so much a devastation in him. And that devastation made him to go into severe stress, distress, and now he's in the hospital admitted. Can you imagine? He was so depressed until he went lunatic. He went crazy. He was admitted in Tanjaramtan. So there's some of the case. Because some of my wives come back and say, no. In fact, there's one of the devotee who comes to Ipoh Center. He runs a psychiatric home. And he showed one boy. They come for Krishna Janmashtami to cut vegetable. And that boy says, you know, this boy? Then he said, yeah, uncle, I am good. Hare Krishna. He was like that. Then after that person, my friend came and told, do you know this guy? Top star student, right? He's a Dean Sleaze in medical. Don't know what happened. He has gone. All this expectation. Attachment expectation creates trauma. Right? But what happened if I don't have any expectation? I just do my job. As a father, I just do my job. The result, I give it to Krishna. If I don't do that, when I start to see my children become rotten, I'm going to go into depression. Oh, why my children? Why other people's children like that? I mean, this is not the way of expecting, escapism. You're not escaping from your duty. You're not being what they call what do you call it? You're not going to be a, what is the word? Responsible. You're not an irresponsible person. That means you're running away from your duty. No. He says, do everything, surrendering all your works to me and with full knowledge. And don't expect anything. Whatever it comes, it comes. All right? But do your job. Okay? With no claims of proprietorship. That means you don't claim any proprietorship. That's my daughter. That's my child. Oh, I'm studying. This is my education. Don't. Just go for it. With peace of mind. All right? And by doing that, you can be free from lethargy. What is lethargy? One is bodily tired. That means tired. When you're mentally tired, all right, you are drained out. But body and mental both are tired at the same time. You are lethargic. When you're lethargic, you cannot perform anything. You're mentally very weak. And that mental weakness can create your body also to become weak. You'll be lethargic. So what Krishna says, do that. Don't claim any proprietorship. Free from lethargy. Fight. We can take this. Of course, can I do it immediately? True knowledge. You study. I want you to read chapter 3 and all this purport again. Krishna will reveal it to your heart because all of us are individual people and we have our personal relationship with Krishna and Krishna will personally advise you what to do. And that's when your attempt will become perfect. So now, Arjuna's reason for not fighting, because he wanted his compassion for friends and relatives. We have studied that. No enjoyment if even victorious. Fear of sinful reaction. Destruction of family tradition. That was his argument. But Krishna defeats Arjuna's argument by how? In 22, he says, compassion of the eternal soul is self-realization. Compassion for the eternal soul. Happiness comes from prescribed duty. Okay? The happiness only comes through your job that you're doing. Fight for the sake of duty. For the sake of your job. And Varna Shankara, that means it happened. That means Varna Shankara, the disturbance only happened by not fighting. Okay, so you should fight. Okay, now these are the 4 yugas that we have: Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. There's like a 4 millennium. The first millennium was Satya Yuga. In Satya Yuga, man had long life, and in that long life situation, they achieved perfection by severe meditation. They do meditation or they went into austerity so severely, they achieve perfection. In Treta Yuga, the second millennium, people achieve perfection by doing big fire sacrifice. How they do the fire sacrifice? They don't light the fire. They chant the mantra, the fire will come. And that fire is direct representation of Agni Deva. And so powerful. They achieve perfection by doing that. In Dwapara Yuga, the Yuga before us, they start to achieve perfection by temple worship. They build huge temple and they do a fantastic deity worship. Okay. So the Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, you must have some kind of qualification. You have to do some kind of studies, education. You have to be very qualified to do these 3 things. But in Kali Yuga, we don't have anything. We don't have long life. We don't have that intelligence and we don't have the cleanliness. Because for this, you have to have intelligence. For this, tolerance. For this, you have to have intelligence, And for this Dwapara, when you want to do this, what they call? Fire sacrifice, you must have cleanliness. But in Kali Yuga, we know all this is not available. So the only way that you achieve perfection, the sacrifice that we should do in Kali Yuga every day in your house is Harinama Sankirtanam, Harirnama, Harirnama, Harinama Kevalam, Kalav Nasti, Eva Nasti, Eva Nasti, Kadiranyata. Only the Harinama Sankirtan is mentioned, the chanting of the holy name, and to do congregation preaching, dancing, singing. So we simply need to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Get your big bats or whatever beats in the back and start to chant. It's not only for us. Even the Christians have this, what they call the rosary. They chant the name of the Lord. In Bible, it says, call upon the name of the Lord if you're in distress. The holy name of the Lord. The secondly, when you look at Al-Quran, they says, call upon the name. That's why they got tasbih. They keep the tasbih. The small thing, they'll be just keep going on chanting and chanting, because that's what prescribed in Kali Yuga. Right? So in Kali Yuga, other way of worship, it doesn't work. I mean, it cannot be perfect because you need to have a specified people. But in Kali Yuga, chanting and reading Bhagavad Gita is very simple. Anybody can do it. All right. So that's the Yuga Dharma. So now, as I said, okay, now let's look at this. There are 8.4 million species of life. We have gone through all the species. Okay. When you look at aquatics that lives in the water, there are 900,000 types, fish and all these things. Among the trees and plants, there are 2 million types. Okay. Varieties of tree, right? There you can see a lot of types of trees. There are 2 million types of trees. When you look at the bees, reptiles, what they call the insects, okay, like samud and everything, 1.1 million insects and reptiles. And there are 400,000 humans and humanoids, 400,000 types. There are 3 million mammals. When you see all the four-legged animal like cows and all these lions and all these things, we are 3 million types, varieties, species. And among the birds, there are 1 million birds. And you know what? We have passed through all this form of life. Everything that you're going to see around, if you see a fly, we have been a fly before. We see a worm in the stool, we were that before. We will see a king, we were that before. When you see a person, when you see an alien, whatever, we have been there. So we have gone through all these species. But today, we are super fortunate that we have got a form of a human being and we have a chance to know God. So now, after passing through 8.4 million, okay, oh, I don't know how to get rid of this. All right. So anyway, okay. All right. After passing through 8.4 million species, for 8.4 million species like that, we finally get the chance to know God. So in other words, I always like to appreciate my Siksha Guru, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj Swami. I really like his term that he used. I really love the way that he speaks and love the term that he used. It took me 8.4 million lifetime to do what I'm doing now. It took 8.4 million lifetime for you to sit and read and understand Bhagavad Gita. So what we can understand from this, you are the most fortunate one. There are so many people. We have 50 people sign up for the course, right? For morning and evening. How many turn up? Yesterday was only, what, 17 or something like that. And today we have 7. When we're supposed to have many. So what does that mean? You are here sticking to this class. You're listening to the class. That means it shows that you are the fortunate one. Okay. And of course, those who are going to listen to this recording, please don't miss the class. It's nothing like live class. All right. Of course, you can listen to the recording and everything. Nothing can be like a live session. If it's recording means I could just record and just like do AI and I just play it. Come 9:15, just on the thing. You'll be listening. Then after that evening class, I just record. I just said, no, it's nothing like connection. And it's very auspicious. Just think about it. Don't miss any class. 8.4 million lifetime you have passed. That's why I'm saying it's going to be the best 18 days in your life. And I'm very excited about it. Right? My children were asking, you got nothing else to do, Ampa? We got this, we got that program. I said, no, this is more exciting. This is so beautiful. So I'm so excited doing this. Of course, I still do my job as a father. Send them to school, come back, in this done, and blah, 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 blah. You know? So anyway, no complaint. So what I'm saying, think about it. You are very fortunate. So the Yuga Dharma is chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It is not easy sometimes, but it is worth it. Chant every day. Don't compromise on this. Chanting can liberate you. Okay. So take the RDC formula. Okay. The RDC formula. Okay. The R means read Bhagavad Gita daily without fail. D means distribute Bhagavad Gita, because there's so many people out there so stressful. They're so frustrated, so unfortunate. Sometimes if you know someone who have nothing, good things will happen. Have you seen people like that? Every day the person got something bad happen. Very unlucky fellow. These are the people needs Bhagavad Gita very, because when the auspicious Bhagavad Gita go to the house, it has the chance to purify the situation. Right? So you're doing a great favor. Think about the person who have encouraged you to come for this session. I don't know how much this program is impacting you, how much you're benefiting from this program. I don't know. Right? But I believe I'm trying my best. And the reason I'm doing this also for my own purification and my own understanding, because despite doing this so many times, every time I'm feeling I'm learning something new. 5,000 years ago book valid till today. If you are a medical student, or if you're a law, whatever technical or some kind of what they call student, even like in medicine, the books are keep changing. The books are keep changing. Okay, anyway. So tomorrow we're going to discuss on transcendental knowledge about Krishna and how to approach a spiritual master. Okay. So is there any questions, any comment? So we are talking about this medical. I think Vaishnava Kripa Prabhu can clear us. He's a royal physician for the Sultan of Perlis. So there is always change in medicine understanding, right, Prabhu?
Yeah, very Prabhu. More than very
yes, right?
New, Prabhu.
See, my father was a dispenser before. And I remember during our childhood, we take Fenagan as our for our flu and fever, right? They give Fenagan for what, Prabhu?
Give what, Prabhu?
Fenagan.
Fenagan is anti-vomiting, Prabhu.
Anti-vomiting and all this. But later they found out that Fenagan is not good. They banned it, right? I mean, for the children.
Fenagan is okay. The other, Fenagan was not bad. Even now it's used.
Blue color. I'm talking about the blue liquid. What do you call it? Is it Fenagan? I think it's Fenagan. Because I remember my father was as an assistant pharmacist, he used to like bring the thing whenever we are sick, we are sick, because I'm always a sickly child. Yeah. So they used to bring that medicine. But later they discovered that medicine is very harmful to the children. Like
opium, Prabhu. Opium. That is morphine group.
Huh?
Morphine group. All its cough syrups and all contain is opium group. Opioids.
Okay.
Opioids. Okay. Fenagan is very useful for children, for anti-vomiting and antihistamine, Prabhu.
Antihistamine, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Opium. That means for the cough mixture, right?
Yes, correct. You should
Benadryl.
Codeine, Prabhu.
Benadryl, right?
No, codeine.
Codeine. Okay. So that means when they start to create that medicine, then later they found out it's bad for health, they stop it. So like that, they are every day. Even now people are accusing that the vaccination was wrong. The vaccination creates, the COVID vaccination. So that means human, anything that created by human there's always a false. There's always a falsity. Why? Because human is tend to make mistake. All right. The intelligence is not complete. So that means in this medical university, they keep changing the books, they keep bringing in the new inventions, this and that. The thing that we used before, like for instance, formerly they say that coconut oil can cause cancer because everybody use coconut oil just to promote the palm oil. But now they found out the palm oil is even worse. And now they're saying, okay, palm oil, we try to reduce, we go back to coconut oil, and ghee is not bad, this is not bad. The scientists are formerly they said drinking milk can cause cancer. But now
But
they say, no, milk is very important.
it's not a mistake, Prabhu. They want to make money. So they want to sell the soya, so they promote it. But actually, ultimately, it is coconut oil all the way. Is good, Prabhu.
Yes.
It's good for health.
Yeah, because my parents, especially my mother, especially my father, he believes in scientists' conclusion. Because you remember eating that coconut all the while, suddenly it just changed to palm oil. But
Yeah.
realize, go back to this thing, then the milk can cause cancer. These can. So all these kind of things they have to come up because they have with imperfect senses, they cannot come to any conclusion. But imagine Bhagavad Gita spoken 5,000 years ago, and it's still, there's no changes, there's no edit, there's nothing in between changed, and it's still valid till today. That is perfect knowledge. Because this perfect knowledge come from a perfect person who is the Lord himself. So continue reading Bhagavad Gita religiously. Don't read, study Bhagavad Gita word by word, contemplate. If you have any questions, any realization, you can share in the group, or you can share to me personally, or even you can ask question here. Okay, I'm not perfect. Okay, I don't know anything, but I can help, or I can refer back to my senior devotee or what, and I can try to get something that we can reflect again. Okay, and also chant Hare Krishna. And before that, I also like to inform there are some donations I received from some of our participants like Ram. Then there's another Prabhu, what? Cheong, Mr. Cheong. Then we have another one is Skanda Balan. All right, total donation I've received 500 ringgit. Prabhu have, the Cheong Prabhu donated 300. Ram donated 100. Then this Skanda Balan donated 100. So total 500. So what I do with that 500 donation, I reduce the price because I encourage every one of you to have a Bhagavad Gita. One Bhagavad Gita, one set of Japamala, and one small book, what they call the chanting, what they call? What book is that? Mini altar, Damodara altar, small book. All in cost, including shipping, can cost around 80 to 90. But of course, I subsidize the thing to 50 ringgit. Okay. Now I've got this donation, I further subsidize. So I can, even if you want that Bhagavad Gita, doesn't matter whatever amount that you can give, say 10 ringgit or 20 ringgit or 30 ringgit, because I thought I want to reduce 10 ringgit. All right. So if I reduce 10 ringgit, that 500 will go to 50 Bhagavad Gita. I can reduce 10 ringgit for 50. But if you think you really can't afford it, you want it, I can even send it to you for free. Because of course they donated for that cost. All right. But if you think you like to give some donation, maybe 5, 10, 20 or 30, okay, I like to have this set for 20 ringgit, 30 ringgit. Also tell me, don't feel shy. Okay. Please inform me. I will send the book to you for free. All right. And of course, I think I owe Ram one set of Japa Mala for his wife. Okay, I'll send to you. I just remembered suddenly. All right. So I hope that you all have a Bhagavad Gita with you. I hope all of you have a chanting bag and beads with you. So go on chanting Hare Krishna and read Bhagavad Gita. And I pray to Krishna to bless you with such a wonderful, beautiful day today. Today is the first day of the week, Monday. And today you can dedicate your entire week to Krishna. And please don't miss the class. And all those of your friends who are not attending the class, tell them you are missing big in this class. Because later recording, it's very doubtful whether a person really listened to the recording. Okay, in my experience, people just go there, okay, they don't listen thoroughly. Okay, nothing like your live class. Okay, so and this evening, we're going to do chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, of course, that's for evening session. Okay, if you think you'd like to join, you can join. But if it's okay, but tomorrow morning, we're going to discuss chapter 4, Bhagavad Gita online. Right? So till then, if I've said anything wrong, if I've offended anyone, kindly forgive me. Because whatever I said, whatever things that I spoke and shared with you, nothing of this is my personal opinion. And I don't have any other intention but to present to you Bhagavad Gita as it is, the way that I have understood, the way that my spiritual master taught me, and the Parambara's teaching. Nothing of this of my opinion. Okay. Till we meet again, have a beautiful day. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bevacha paditanam pavinebhyo vaishnave bayo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Welcome. Welcome. Hare Krishna. Gauranga.